be recording the session also, so we can go
Yeah,
back to it later. See my
yeah, I am.
my editor.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Here in build change sets, we have the define global variable change set, which is here. Okay, this is a continuous change set that gets applied. It should get applied every time you update. And it has various sections. One is the global variables array, where we have all the variables that we create. Then we have delete these, which are some of them that have been obsolete. And then we have the rename array. Okay, this is the one we're going to work with. Right now,
Yes.
there's a very small set of variables.
Mhm.
And I'm going to do this first one, maximum scheduled workflows. So the idea is first we have to get it out of this block here, okay? So which is the create block,
Mhm.
and we have to move it down below. So I'm going to copy this and delete the line, and come down here to the rename, and we're going to add a new entry here, which is this variable must be renamed to this array here, 2. Okay, didn't do that right because I lost the name here. And let me see. Okay, so before we do that, we need the name. I'm gonna do coreBOS work. I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna use JIT to get the name, so I don't have to undo it and then do it again. So I'm gonna do here a JIT diff of build. Hold on. Clear the screen so we can get that out of here. JIT diff build change sets define global variables. Okay, so since I saved it, it says here that I have to rename that variable to workflow maximum scheduled. Let's copy that. And here. Okay,
Mhm.
so with this entry here, once this change set is executed with coreBOS Updater, it will look in the database for this name,
Yes.
and it will substitute it for the other name, the new name. That means basically changing the pick list, looking for any records that anybody may have created with this specific value, and change those records also, and then delete it from the pick list so you can't choose it anymore. Okay, it will do all those things for us. But we have to do something else, and that's change the values. Well, we may have to change the values. Okay. Note on the previous one, the one we did last week, it was show copy address header. We
Yes.
changed it to application show copy address, and I took the opportunity of changing the name to also change the values from yes, no to 0 and 1, to convert it
Okay.
into a Boolean value. Okay. In this case, the maximum scheduled workflows is a number. It's the number of maximum scheduled workflows you can have in the system.
Mhm.
So there's no renaming. We don't need to change the values.
Yeah, I
Whoever,
understand.
okay. Here in this case, what is important is to do the not before the from. Okay, there's two options here when you change the variable name, and it's not yes,
Yes.
which means all the other values that are there, we have to put them to 0. And then you do the yes, you put it to 1. If you do this the other way around, it won't work, because if you do the from first, yes will be converted to 1, and then the not
Yes.
will
Okay.
detect that 1, and it will break. So it's important to have first do the false, and then the, okay. There are some variables up here that need that change. Well, need it. I think it's correct, because at the beginning we were focusing global variables in one direction, and then we kind of changed, and we made it more into a developer's tool, because we noticed that almost everybody using it is really implementers more than the users. So we went back to 0 and 1s instead of yes and no, which is kind of more logical, and in developers implementer world.
Okay, but
So some of
for
these,
all the
yes,
for the global variables that actually have yes or no, they need to be changed to 0 and 1.
I would say yes. Yes, I think that would be the correct to maintain consistency and have them all working the same way. In fact, one of the problems you had last week was that you kind of you set them to 0 and 1, the true and false, and they weren't working right because you had to put them to yes and no.
Yeah, yeah.
I think right now the standard is to use the naming convention is kind of like the module, or if it's an application variable, put the word application. If not the module, then what is changing and exactly how it's changing. It's kind of, for example, inventory, list price, and read only. It's kind of like the inventory modules is the list price, and you making it read only. It's kind of this convention now.
Okay.
So and in that convention, we also kind of have the 0 ones almost everywhere. So I would change all of these. If they're yes or no, change them to 0 and 1. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you just go down? Yeah. You have one already that you did last week, which is the show copy address header there. Why are you leaving it there? Is it supposed to be there since it's already done?
Because I don't. There's a lot of installs that may not have it applied yet. I can't take it away, because maybe
Okay.
they won't. They would lose that change. It's all, the world's all full of coreBOS in different situations. It has to stay there.
So it means for each variable, for each global variable that needs to be changed, I need to add them one after the other.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the end, this block here will not exist. It won't be there,
Right.
and they will all be down here.
Okay. Okay.
The code is intelligent enough to know what it has to do. If it's applied again in an install where it's already done, it would just ignore the steps. It won't do anything. So it's good. Okay. Okay. So in this case, we have the renaming part done. So this is good. The next thing we have to do is actually go to the code and see if we have to change anything. So I'm going to select this the old name, and I'm going to launch a global search for that in the whole application and see where it's being used. At least it should come up. Well, it will come up where it's being used, and also in the variable definition file. Obviously, we have to change it there too because the name's going to change. Okay. Yeah, this one's going to be easy. If you want, now that we're together, we can do another one. One with the yes, no kind of values. Because this one I think is going to be really easy. Okay, this one turned up in 5 places. One is the define global variables file, which is correct. Then we have the definition files, the English, Spanish, and the French, which we have to change. And it's being used just in one place. And in this place, it gets the variable and has a default value of 10. Okay, so we don't have to do anything here. This is fine. This is perfect. It just rename the variable and that's it. There's nothing else to do. Okay, because we don't have to change the values here. If we're going to do, we'll do the one with the yes and no, so you can see the change in the variable. If here it had a yes instead of a 10, and now we're going to change to 0, 1, we have to change that yes to the 0 or 1.
Okay.
Also in the code. You know what I mean? We'll do that. We'll do another one because this one turned out to be really easy. Anyway, so all we have to do now is get the new name, copy that, and come over here to the language files
and change them all.
And change it. That's it, because they're not that, they're the new name now. And that one was really easy. Okay, so let's do another one. That should be about it. There's nothing else to do. In this case, next time I execute the global variables thing, this definition file, it will do it. Let's do another one. Let's do one of these. I'm going to copy this over because it's probably going to be almost the same. Okay, and we're going to get the billing address checked. Let me see in the language file. This one must have a yes, no, I think. 0, 1 says here, but that's not, maybe it's not true. Let's have a search for that variable. and make sure that I'm going to change one that has a yes no so we can see it. Okay. And this one says it's being used here. Perfect. See, it has a true. This one's using a true value here as a default.
Yeah.
And the definition file says it should be 0 and 1. So that's something definitely wrong there, okay? So here, basically, all we have to do is change this true to a 1. And also come over here. Okay. So basically, I did. I'm doing this out of order now, but that's okay. It found it in this file here. It found it in the select contact address. So here it's false. So I'm going to use 0. Are you following?
Yeah, I'm here.
And the vendor address is true. So we have a 1. Okay. Now here we have to do something else. Because notice that in these 3 files that I changed it,
Yeah.
We're getting the variable billing address checked.
Mm-hmm.
We're setting it to 1 as a default if it's not there, and then we're mapping that global variable into the bill address checked without the underscores.
Yeah.
To make sure that this variable without the underscores is being used correctly, is also looking for that 0 and 1 and not for the true and the false.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to select this one and launch a search for this one. And that will be used exclusively in the templates because it's a Smarty assigned. So it's just going to come up. Well, it's going to come up in these 3 files and then in the templates. And we have to make sure we have a 0 and 1 there also. Okay. Okay. If it correctly, it found it in the 3 files that we were mapping. We just changed. And in the templates, it found it, and also 3 templates, 1 for each module. And here we're looking for true. Okay, you see how it says, okay, is billing address checked equals true, the string?
Yeah, it's equal 1, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to put a 1 here also, okay? 1. And then we have to do the same for the other ones.
All right.
Okay, true and 1. This is more or less this is the hard part, really. So you have to go, running around the code, checking, making sure it's being used correctly. And now, okay, so now I have the variables correctly using 0 and 1 in the code. I changed the 6 files that need to be changed there. Now here, that means that this is consistent. No. Okay, here in the define global variables, now we have to change this billing address checked. Billing address checked. We have to change it to application billing address checked. Okay. So now I have to look for this billing address again.
Wait, it seems I'm not sure if the screen is updating anymore. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, sometimes it gets slow. Just let me know and I'll slow down. Okay, so I'm in the define global variables. I'm setting up the rename for billing address check to application billing address check. So now I'm going to launch a search for billing address checked again.
In fact, it should be, we should start with this prior to changing the value of the variable, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I just when I turned it around because I wanted to make sure we were going to catch one that had the changes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So here we have it in a few places. Okay. Here. Okay, I have to change this billing address check to application billing address checked. Here in contacts, the same thing. And we should have one in vendors, correct? The three files that I changed before. Where I changed the 0 and the 1, I also have to change the same 3 files to make the new name in the variable, in the global variable. Okay, so now I have the name in here, so I have to change everything that is not true, because that was the string that was there, that was being used. That's the one that was
Okay,
working.
you have to use the string that was used previously.
Exactly. Exactly. The thing is that if any, basically the renaming is in case somebody's already using the variable. If nobody's using it, they won't even notice because there's no difference. But if somebody has used it and they're using it correctly, they have to have a true or a false, or it's not going to be working for them. So we have to respect that definition file that they have already, and we have to convert the trues to zeros. That exactly what's not true, whatever they put in there, if it's false or not, because that's the way it was working. We move it to 0, and then if it is true, we move it to 1. Okay.
Wait a second. Not true. You mean
Anything
false?
that is not false or any other string, really. Yeah, basically it should be false. They should have put either true or false. Okay, but what I'm doing is anything that wasn't false, that wasn't true, exactly TRUE, was being used, was being converted to a false. So I do a global change there. Anything that's not true, even if you wrote false incorrectly by mistake or whatever, I'm going to put it to 0 because that's what's going to work there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get all the strings that are true, which are the ones that were working. I'm going to set them to 1.
Okay.
Okay. And that should be about it. Now we could launch that, and now, yeah, in fact now we have to launch this and make sure. Oh no, wait, we have to change it in the variable here also. Yeah, okay, I did the define global variables, I did the accounts change, the contacts change, and the vendors change, but I still have to change it in the definition files. It's here, okay, the EN, the ES, and the FR. Okay, now I got it. Just in case, let's do a JIT diff here. Let's see what we have changed actually. No, this is too big. Yeah, we need a -1. Let's clear the screen. So top JIT status 1. Okay, it says I changed the account's return address, the contacts, and the vendors. Then I have the define global variables. I have the accounts. Also, I have a few more because you caught me developing some other. Well, I usually have changes there that I haven't committed yet. In this case, I think the ones we are looking for are these 3. Define global variables, the 3 variables in the vendors, and that should be it. Custom, these are mine. Okay, and the module global variable definitions. Okay, if it says here that I've changed the set return address template,
Yes.
and the changes from billing address equals true to equals 1. I did the exact same change in module contacts and in vendors. Okay, then it says that I changed. Okay, see, I'm missing a change here. I eliminated the maximum, the incorrect name. Okay, I left this one. You see, I left the billing address checked above. That's wrong. So we have to go in to define global variables, come up here and eliminate this one because that one has been already translated. Okay.
Okay.
Then I have the 2 rename definitions, which look correct. And then I have changed the select address here, which I also changed the true to a 1, the false to a 0. Then I have the definition files where I changed the maximum to the workflow, the billing to the application. That's in English. Then I have it in Spanish and French and the last one. Okay, that all looks good. Okay, those look like the correct set of changes that we need.
Okay.
But just in case, let's give it a try, just to make sure that everything is working correctly. I have a session here, which is wrong. This is another install I'm looking for. I'm developing in this one. Okay, let's go over to the updater, and this should be empty. Load them all because I'm up to date, and I'm going to launch the apply all, which will apply the continuous ones. This is the rest, and here are the defined global variables. Okay, this looks like it did do something. Usually this is just one liner. Here it says that it's changing the global variable name from workflow max schedule to maximum scheduled workflows. No, the other way around. It does that in the variable names, in the global variables, and in the pick list dependencies. Okay, it does what it has to do there to make the change. Also, the application billing, that looks good, the other three, and then it updates the values accordingly, just in case anybody has the values mixed, which it's only doing for the application billing address because the maximum schedule workflows doesn't need any changes in the variables.
Yes.
Okay, that looks good. So that looks perfect. So all we have to do now, I guess, would be go to the global variables and make sure that it's still working. Well, maximum schedule workflows. That's kind of hard to test. You would have to define. I suppose we could, but it's a little bit more laborious. We'd have to come here to the workflows, see how many workflows of these are scheduled, and add. That's kind of no. What we can do. I know what we can do. Let's do it the other way around. Let's go here to global variables. Let's create a new global variable. The name now is workflows. Should be workflows. Before it was maximum workflows. Here there's no M's, no maximum. Okay, and we should have workflows maximum schedule.
I think it's stuck. I'm not seeing anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
It's coming.
Okay. Okay, I'm creating a new global variable. I opened the list and I looked for maximum workflow, maximum scheduled workflows, and I see that in the M's, it's not there. So that seems to have eliminated it from there. And we have effectively the workflow maximum scheduled. Okay. So I'm going to set that to 1. So I can only have one scheduled workflow. So now if I go into workflows, I think one of these or more is scheduled. So if I try to create a new one against any module, I guess, and we try to make it programmed. Okay, I don't have any. Schedule test every hour. Okay, fine. Okay, I have one. So now I'm going to try to create another one against payments. Okay, I didn't do this correctly because I should already be getting the message. Okay, so let's go back, see what I did wrong. I think I know what it is. I didn't rename the variable. So let's look for maximum, the old name.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's stuck. It's stuck again.
Following? Okay.
Yeah, it's stuck. I'm not seeing. I think it's stuck on the same page.
Okay.
I'm not seeing what you're doing.
Okay. So wait a little bit, see if it catches up.
There. Okay.
Okay. So I was looking here that I tried to create. I created, in fact, a scheduled test, scheduled workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here it's programmed. Okay. And then I tried to create a new one. And I should have gotten a message telling me that I can't because I set the global variable to 1.
Wait a second. I'm on a page. I don't I don't know what this is. Okay, now you are. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. You see the global variable on screen?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I
Okay,
see. Yeah.
I created this global variable
Yeah.
telling them
All
that I
right.
can only have one. I already created one, so if I try to create another one, it should tell me that I can't, but it's not. It's letting me. Okay, so we did something wrong there. I think it's that I didn't rename the variable. Okay, so here I'm going to get the old name, maximum scheduled workflows, and I launch a global search, and it comes up in two places when it shouldn't. It should be just now, since I already made the rename, this variable here, this maximum scheduled workflow is wrong. It has to be the workflows, right? The new name. Okay,
Yes.
because okay, so I didn't rename that. I didn't change that, so that was wrong. So I copied the new name, come over here to this, and put in the new name, which is what it has to be looking for. Okay, now if I try to create that variable again, that workflow, excuse me, it should tell me that I can't do it. So there it is. Okay, it doesn't let me select, and you see it tells me that I can't exceed the limit of one.
Okay.
Okay, so it is important to test them because obviously it's easy to make a mistake there. Okay, okay, so let's test the other one. The other one, we were looking for billing checked. We did application billing address checked. Okay, the new variable
Yes.
name is here. Just in case, let's have a look at the B's. Make sure that there is no billing address checked. Okay, that did it correctly. And let's check this one, and let's say that it's true. I want that selected. I think no, by default it's true. So let's unselect it for let's unselect it for all variables, for everybody. And then we'll tune that and play with it a little bit. Okay, so that means that if I go to contacts, for example, and select an account, no, okay, that's not working. It has to be an inventory module, invoice, open that up. Where are you? Here. And we select this one. Okay, it's not selected. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
and let's close that. Go over to the global variable and select it to 1. And do that again. See what happens. There you go. Okay.
All right.
So I
Yeah.
suppose that the rest also should be correct. Say okay. So basically, the steps are: go to the define global variables, move the variable you want from the first array, which is
Yep.
the create, into the rename correctly. Then you search the global. Well, let me see. The steps I think are here also, which are the ones I just set on jitter. They should be those. Fill
Yeah.
in the
Yeah. Okay.
rename. Okay. Search the code. Make sure everything is changed correctly, and then update the definition files. If there's a yes no there, convert it to 0 1 and rename. Okay. So
All right.
that will be about it.
All right. That's good.
Okay.
I think it should
Okay.
be fine. Can we just come back for one? I think there's something I missed. It's when you after you rename the variable and you give the value. I think there's something I didn't get right here with the two arrays you have here with not and from.
Okay.
Can you explain this again? This small bit.
Okay. Okay. The thing is that if somebody had a variable like this, true. Okay, let's suppose that no. Let's edit this and let's say okay that on the invoice module. Okay, on the invoice module they want. Okay, didn't change. True. Okay, on the invoice module, they want to have it checked.
Yes.
And then they have another entry where they say that they don't want it checked or quotes, for example. Okay, so now I have two global variables for this same settings. Application billing address checked. One is true, and the other one is false. Okay, so this is the case that we have to control in the change in the bottom. Okay, if there's no records, it doesn't matter because if they create a new one, they'll already get the new values. The problem is respecting the configurations of people that already have them, are already using them. So in this case, the first thing I do is look for all the records here in this in the global variables module that have a value different from true, be it false or whatever, and I change all of those to 0.
Okay.
Okay. Then I launch another search looking for true, which is the good value, and I set it to 1. Okay, so that's what,
all right. Okay.
okay. So basically, that's what I'm trying to do here, and with this change here, I'm telling you, okay, anything that is not true, that is not exactly true, okay, this is not a true, this is not a Boolean value, it's a string, okay, it's just, okay, like look up above. Above we had yes and no, and the application show copy address we had yes and no. So I'm saying, look in all the records, if you find anything that's not a yes, convert it to 0, and then once you've done that, look for all the yeses and set them to 1.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Got it. Yeah.
that good?
We're good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. It was a pleasure explaining that to you, and I'll commit the changes we just did, the two variables now.
Okay, so I'll catch up from the next ones that you already did.
Exactly. Okay, and I'll upload the video also in case you want to go back and check it again and see if there's anything that I missed or whatever. Okay.
All right, perfect. So I think it's starts from tax type default, I guess. I think, or no, maybe from must be shipping address. Yeah, shipping address.
Shipping address check.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Okay, well, it's a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Okay, speak soon.